morning. Hope there's a smile on your face as you begin your day. So glad you're watching 3+U as part of that routine. We're always glad to have you join us. We've been making some comments over the last several days as this new look is unveiled here on Local 3 News for you about the cheeriness of our open, the bright yellows that you see, the high Tennessee Valley that greets you each day when we start our show. An optimistic way to begin the hour, we think. Sometimes, though, having that optimism, that positive outlook is kind of easier said than done. We know that because we all carry stresses and weights and burdens with us throughout the day, no matter how much we try to avoid those things. Sometimes you just need to turn to someone for some help other than your spouse or your best friend. So enter Charles Miller. He is with Scenic City Neurotherapy, and he thought he would talk this morning not only about what they're doing to help people who deal with really chronic depression and anxiety, but the first responder side of things today and what they can do to help folks with PTSD. So good morning to you, Charles.
Good morning.
It seems like there's kind of this national campaign and awareness right now that for a lot of years, a lot of us have tried to do what we thought was right by telling our friends and family who struggle to just say, oh, get out and go for a walk, or look at it from a different point of view, or whatever. It's not that easy. So what are you doing to help people at Scenic City Neurotherapy?
Yeah, I think people think that if we just do better, we automatically feel better. And that is the way we are wired to function. But for the most part, depression, anxiety, PTSD, OCD, and bipolar disorder, if these were things people could think their way out of, they probably would have by now. These are very physiologic disorders. It's very much reliant on the way your brain communicates. And that's where we work, is helping the brain communicate in a more effective manner.
I guess when you think about it, to break it down into kind of a simple way, a baby's born, here's this brain that has so far nothing in it. And the baby learns, and depending on where that baby's born, they'll learn a certain language, they'll learn certain mannerisms, on and on the story goes. Why does that have to stop when we get older? Our brain still is going to adjust, if you will, to whatever we're putting into it, and sometimes those can be negative things.
Yeah, and a lot of these negative things trigger our brain to adjust in a negative way, to where our brain actually turns off certain areas that it can't seem to cope with at the moment to be dealt with at a later date. But the problem is that oftentimes the brain never reawakens that area to actually deal with it. And that's where we work, is we stimulate the brain to light back up, essentially turning on these dark areas. And this is what, we brought up with PTSD in particular. These dark areas are significantly larger for this specific population. So when we think PTSD, we think our veterans are, those that have been in battle. But also, too, we neglect to remember that PTSD applies very closely to our first responders that are in that battle every single day.
Talk about the every single day part of it, because that's just it. Whether you're a firefighter, a police officer, of late, a doctor in an ER, a nurse at a local hospital, every single day you're having to go in full throttle. Your brain never gets to relax.
Yeah, I see it a lot, most obviously with our police officers, but even more now with our nursing staff. I'm seeing more and more nurses come through my door. They understand our process, and they have been through a lot over the last couple of years. And it has left some scars, and they are not the same people they were when this pandemic started.
So you mentioned your process. Some of our viewers this morning might be seeing you for the first time. You don't really work in isolation. When people come to you, you can talk about the treatments you offer, but you don't try to be a replacement for their own other mental health resources. You just try to advance things for them.
We're a wonderful complement to what already exists out there. And with mental health, it seems like a lot of people continually struggle because there's a piece missing. The medications they take are really good for stabilization, but that's not a good place to live for the rest of your life. Stabilization, as we call it, is a decrease in emotional sensation. So we want people to feel the full spectrum, but in a very controlled way. And we do that by helping the brain communicate optimally. So what we do is not a replacement for your current mental health process. It's a complement. It works. And our mental health counselors, our psychiatrists, they are the other half of our process. We work closely with whoever you're currently already working with. And if you're not working with anybody, we get you with somebody, because you'll do better with that piece of the puzzle as part of your care team.
Okay, so what you're doing on your side is you're by training a nurse anesthetist. So you're using this ketamine, which is a pediatric anesthesia method, to use this to help with the treatment of depression.
Right. What we do is we challenge the brain essentially with a low-dose children's anesthetic. The brain responds with an optimization process, and it's complicated and there's a lot to it, but if you ever want to learn more about it, you can come in and talk to me, and I will explain the whole thing at length.
30 seconds left to the coming in and talking to you. The explaining is what you love. You love the educational component. I think this is a free of charge service to come in and learn about it, right?
Absolutely. There's absolutely no charge. There's no chance that you'll be charged. You come in, you sit down with me or one of my other providers. We will explain our process from start to finish. The consults can take anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, so set aside that time, but that's all it will cost you. It's just about an hour of your life and a little bit of brain power, and we'll go through it from start to finish.
Charles Miller, always great talking to you on the show. He has Scenic City Neurotherapy on Shallowford Road. That phone number, if you do want to call, is 228-0579. You also can learn more about all the different things that they can treat and help you with by going to ScenicCityNeurotherapy.com.
Oranges are sweet. Lemons are sour. Presenting a fresh new look with the same great value. Hi, I'm Kimmy from Crown, and this is the Crown Confidence Plan. Hand-picked, slightly used, certified pre-owned cars that have been certified